Yeah, it's honestly like been so long ever since I like even saw or thought about the last video, because I actually kind of forgot what I said about that. I know the story was about middle school, but I like forgot what exactly it was about, but I think I kind of remember. So I think I'll just start off by like finishing it up in this video. So I don't know if I talked about how I got like in school suspension for recording a fight or whatever, but it was around the end of the year and it wasn't even on school campus or whatever. And I don't know, I just got in school suspension with that shit, and it was like an entire day. It wasn't even bad, but yeah, I was in there for like an entire day, and I had to do my work in there. Like, we couldn't even talk to anyone in there either. It was so boring too, and like I had to sit right next to them, like the teacher and all that shit, and it was lucky crazy. So yeah, I was basically in there the entire day. Me and my friends were spending a bunch of time in there doing nothing, and I remember I didn't even have any work to do. So I low-key just sat there and zoned out for the entire day. And we basically ended just about most of the school year by now. And I think this was about when I was getting out of middle school. So I had this one friend, we're gonna call him Dazier. And Dazier was like a prankster. Like, he was lucky one of my best friends, but like he'd low-key start pantsing people randomly at the end of school year for like no reason. I don't even know why it started. It was like on site. He was going for everyone. And so around the last couple weeks of school, or like last week or so, I remember on how he tried to go for me. And this was, I think, when we both had like gym or whatever, gym class that we had to do. So we was in the gym, and he did pants me, but I always wear like long shorts or shirts, so like you couldn't even like see anything until it was like underneath my knees, and I was like, yeah, I think short too. So he did pants me when I was talking like in front of these girls and shit. And I remember when he did that, like, they started laughing at me, and I was like, you motherfucker. So I basically started chasing him around the entire gym until I caught up to him, and I tried to pants him, but like he was too busy like holding his pants up, and he wore his belt tight and shit. So I was like, alright, don't worry, bro, I'm gonna get you one day. And I held this grudge for the entire week of school until he stopped pantsing people and completely forgot about it as well. And so we were in our history class. This was like one of the last classes of the year that we actually had to go through, and all the finals that we had to do and stuff were completely done. So we were on our phones. I think people in the school were like selling stuff like snacks and a bunch of stuff, drinks and hot chocolate and stuff like that, and we were just on our phones chilling the entire day, right? So I remember we were in class too. I don't think anyone noticed it except for him for sure, and me, because I was laughing my ass off. But we were taking a bunch of pictures together and other stuff, and I probably still have them. I don't know if I can find it, but yeah, we took a bunch of pictures together and stuff, and I was thinking about it the whole time, trying not to laugh my ass off, thinking about how I'm gonna get him back. And I was like, damn, I gotta wait for the perfect opportunity. So it was until fourth period, and I remember he had his back turned, and he was like doing something. I think he had money out, and he was trying to put it back in his pants, and after he did, I yoinked his pants so down completely fast, as hard as I can. And since he always wore tight belts where it would be like fully wrapped around him, it's super hard to do it unless you like do it all at once, fast and hard as you can. So I remember I did it to him, and it was so quick, he like didn't even react to it until his pants were like almost past like his thighs. And I remember when I did it, he was like, yo, what are you doing? And I was like behind him, like basically where his lower back is when I did it, and his belt caught onto his underwear and pulled his underwear down with it too. So like his ass was out. And it was karma for all the times he did it to me. And it was in class too, and I don't think anyone noticed, but I remember I did it and his cheeks were like in front of my face, bro. It was crazy. That's a crazy thing to say as well, but it was actually wild because his cheeks were just right there in front of my face, and I was laughing my ass off. He was like, "Oh, what are you doing, bro?" And I don't think anything else popped up in the front because he was wearing a shirt and I wasn't facing that direction, but I know his cheek it was under his cheeks, and he like tried to hurt him, pull it up, and he had to like move around so much because his belt was tight where it was like hard for him to pull it up. And I was just laughing my ass off, and I think the bell rang around that same time. So I remember I was like running like in the halls downstairs, and he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna get your ass back, bro. Don't worry about when. I'm gonna get your ass back." And he never got me back. And I remember I used to wear pajamas to school a lot in 8th grade. And yeah, so I had like drawstrings, and I pulled it as hard as I could and tied it as hard as I can. So he tried to get me back 2 times later in that day, but he could not, and it was so funny too. And yeah, it was crazy, bro. We were crazy kids. Another time, for sure, this is like all just a bunch of stories because it was kind of so long ago, it was kind of hard for me to remember unless it's like a big event that happened in my life, but I'm probably not gonna remember that much of it. But I do remember this one time, these group of kids, they went on a trip in Mexico, and they had brought back like cherry bombs. Now, if you don't know what a cherry bomb is, it literally looks like a cherry and has like a little stick where if you light it, it slowly goes off like a bomb or like dynamite. And it's not really like a big explosive, it's just like a small one, but it can destroy a bunch of stuff, especially if it's like very close contact with it. But yeah, a cherry bomb is what these kids brought back from Mexico, and they went into like the bathroom stalls, and they lit it and dropped it, I think in a urinal or a toilet, I don't know which one, but I remember it was by the science lab. And when they did that, the entire like front part of the toilet blew up, and like it started detaching from the wall, and the water just started going everywhere, and it was so loud too. The water was like all over the floor and flooding the bathroom and leaking like through the door. And I remember a bunch of teachers had went out of their classroom to like go see what happened, and they were like laughing their ass off, covered in the toilet water, like dripping from their clothes and hair. They were just dying of laughter. They probably got like expelled or something for sure, most definitely. But it was actually crazy on how they brought that back. And I don't know how long it took for them to fix that bathroom up, because this happened like around the time when I first went to middle school. But it was actually crazy, dude. Like, I don't know what happened. I could do X stories, but that might be in the next one. I'm trying to think if there's anything more stuff to say like that, though. I think that's basically almost about it that I have. I could probably say one more thing though. Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely this one. This was during 8th grade, around the halfway point of the year. But I remember there was a group of us, and there was this one kid, we're gonna call him Tanner. But he was like weird, bro. Like, I don't know, he didn't really get personal space or something. But I remember just one time I was in gym, and we were like switching clothes and all that, and I like took my hoodie off because it was so hot, and I went to go to the restroom, and this was all before like we were in class and all that. And I remember I was like on the urinal or whatever, using the bathroom, and he like came up behind me and like grabbed my waist and like jump scared me. And I remember like, yo, I got so scared. I didn't turn around, but I remember like I jumped, and like I low-key kind of slightly pissed myself. Like, it wasn't bad, but it was like on the leg part, like right there, and it was a lot. And I was like, fuck, yo, how am I supposed to hide this shit? So I remember I put like my hood, like I tied it around my waist. And like I had to go, it was the last class of the day too, so I had to go with that on around my waist. Like no one noticed that there was like a piss smell, but I think I was the only one that did. And I remember I had to smell like that for like, I don't know, almost an hour, maybe 40-ish minutes or something like that. It was lucky hell, bro. Like, I can't believe I did that shit. Bro, fuck that kid, bro. That's all I got though. This one was lucky a quick one. There wasn't really much editing or whatever for this, but it's fine. This was a quick video.
I'm packing. My life it is like a movie minus all the acting. Jacket, yeah, it's made of rabbit. Diamonds on my neck and wrist, they compliment that carrot.